Yeah, right? We knew that would happen, right? Because the thing is that as soon as somebody, and I represent a group, so don't be thinking that it's me and I'm brilliant, my idea. No, some of it's my idea, but I represent a group that cannot be seen, because if they're seen, we'll blow the whole thing. Okay? That's the only reason one guy stands here. Because we figure that we're going to be a big threat, and now we've turned into being the big threat. All right? So, the backlashing, let's see, we'll start with police on guard. So police on guard, they've done all sorts of shit, and I think that the people in it are good, but the administration hates my guts, because I was a police on guard, okay? And the thing is that they tried to say all this bullshit about assumed names and all that. Did you guys read any of that stuff? That shit? Jesus, that was tough. Let me explain my name and we'll get that one out of the way. So, I was born in England. My father is a Master Chief Navy SEAL. His name, Richard Ray, okay? Him and my mother didn't get married. My mother's name, Christine Chilcott. He was a really handsome man in a uniform. She was a swimsuit model. Ta-da! I don't know how I would, politely way to say that. So, he went off to war by the time I was 1.5 years old, and they never had a chance to get married. So on my birth certificate is Mark Anthony Chilcott. That's my birth certificate. My mother remarried when my father never came back, and she married Graham Trim. Graham Trim was a musician, okay? A handsome musician. My mom seemed to be attracted to these kind of things. And we came to Canada in 1965. When you came to Canada in 1965, you lined up under a letter that your last name started with, okay? My little brother, he had my new stepfather's last name, Trim. My mother had my stepfather's last name, Trim. I did not. But back in those days, they were just stamp and just rush the families through. We lined up under the letter T, and they stamped my landing slip, and off I went. Now I'm Mark Trim, because my landing slip in Canada says so. So nobody ever questioned it. My mom let it go because it made it sound like I didn't have a stepfather. It was like that was my dad. My mother thought mentally that would be better for me. Well, once I found out he wasn't my dad when I was 12, I immediately thought, hey, hang on a second, that's why he looks so different. Okay, so I go to get my social insurance number, and of course they stopped me dead in my tracks. So the government made me Mark Anthony Chilcott, because my landing slip was null and void. They were gonna, believe it or not, they said to my mother, we have the right to kick him out of the country. Yes, yeah. So my mother had to do all the paperwork and everything, and they had to re-register me all the way back around when I was 12 and confirm that I was Mark Anthony Chilcott. Years go by, I'm Mark Anthony Chilcott, Mark Anthony Chilcott, only no one calls me Mark. Since I was a little kid, everyone calls me two different names, Marcus or Marco. If they're Italian, I'm Marco, and if I'm English, I'm Marcus. I got used to being just called Marcus. Everybody in school called me Marcus. Everyone's called me Marcus. So, I adjusted my own name years ago. I thought it would be proper and respectful to put my father's last name in my name. So I am Mark Anthony Ray Chilcott. Make sense? I put my father's name in there. If he died for our country, the least I could do is have his name in my name. All right? So when I started writing books and I started becoming an international speaker and I was shipped to the States and everything like that, the promoters, the agents, everybody said, hey dude, Mark Anthony Ray Chilcott, that's a little long. But I'll tell you what, Marcus Anthony Chilcott. No, Marcus Anthony Ray. Ooh, I like that. They decided that would be my public name. Now, that's no different than Tony Robbins, that's no different than 90% of the actors. Okay, it's not an assumed name, it's my name. It's just that we left the last part out. Okay, now when I became an RCMP officer way back in the early 90s, I was in the reserve force, which is BC, British Columbia RCMP, which means that I was only having jurisdiction in British Columbia. It's a force that they had back then. Yes, we had guns, cars, all that stuff. So when I joined Police on Guard, they asked me to join because I can speak. So the recruiter in BC comes up to me and says, hey, we really want you speaking. You got to join Police on Guard to go speak for us at rallies. And you know, Police on Guard people go and speak at rallies and stuff like that. So I signed up, my badge number 86128 had to copy my name, Mark Anthony Ray Chilcott, using the Chilcott. When I became a police officer, that was my last name on my badge. So you can't join an organization unless your badge number matches your last name. It would be funny. So what happened when they got all pissed off and everything, they called me up and said, you know, we're gonna have to remove you because of what you're doing, because I'm actually taking action, which apparently is not allowed. They couldn't find my badge or anything in their organization because it's under the Chilcott name, not the Ray name. But I'm out here speaking as Marcus Anthony Ray. So it's a simple thing. Call the recruiter who knows the whole story and get it straight. They pissed the recruiter off so much, he quit. Now, I went to Saskatchewan and all these ex-police officers came up to me and said, we're with you. We all used to be with POG. Now they're really pissed at me, right? Because we got a movement going and we got something happening, and that's what everyone's supposed to be doing. Now Veterans for Freedom jump on me, and to explain all their stuff, I debunked absolutely everything. Did I have a company that went bankrupt? Yes, that's why the court cases are there. That happens. Did anybody ever have a company that went bankrupt? Just me? Oh, thank God. Oh, what's going on over there? All right, what's your name, sir?
Gary.
Okay, Gary, you're my favorite. Don't tell anybody else. Okay, when you lose a company and you go bankrupt, there's usually court cases from suppliers. All right? That's a natural thing. That's nothing I can stop. Now, the funny thing is, those suppliers are all my friends right now. I've been paying all that stuff for 8 years. Paying. Okay, so I can't battle things like this. I can't help a past. You know what I say to you folks? Okay, how many people we got in here? What do we got? I don't know. We got a lot of fucking people in here. If any of you have committed no sin in your life whatsoever, cast the first stone. Yeah. See, you're my kind of people. I mean, I'm trying to do something right now that I think is going to save children. I can't help where I come from. I can only help where I'm going. So they're saying, oh, don't trust this guy and all this kind of stuff. Well, shit, man. You know what? It's not about me. They're trying to make it about me because they think that if I'm gone, the whole thing shuts down, because it has gotten so bloody big. It has gotten big, people. Everywhere I've gone on this trip, they can't fit everybody in the building. All right? It's insane, the amount of people showing up. The more crap they spit out, the more people show up. You know why? Because they know if you're trying to target something, wait a minute, he must be hovering over that target. You damn right I am. And my people are too. So all I can tell you is this. I'm going to stick this thing out until they lock me up. I'm going to stick it out until they knock me down. But I'm not going to quit. I don't give a shit what anybody's saying. Even Chris Sky, I've got proof on my phone. Chris Sky is trying to blackmail me right now. He wants to show something. He thinks he's being Mr. Cool Guy. And then what he's texting me is, I won't show that, but I want in. I got it on my phone. I got the proof. He doesn't realize I keep all this shit. All right? I want in. I want to be a part of this. I want to give you my information. I want to give my input. Well, isn't that blackmail?
Yeah.
So I said, go ahead, have at her. Do what you can do. Let her go. I have tough skin. Tough skin, man. Just bring it. I'm in it for the kids. I couldn't give a shit what you say. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. I do sit in the hotel room late at night. I always end up being alone. And when you're sitting there and no one's around, you start to think, I'm in this by myself is what it feels like. I don't have anybody on social media in masses protecting me or speaking up for me or saying that they've been to I get a few people, hey, we've been to a meeting, it's nothing like what you were saying. But not enough of them to combat what is coming at me. So I really do think of quitting. I do, I gotta be honest. I mean, anybody, I'm a human being, right? And you people, except for that guy, are human beings. So imagine how it feels to have the world coming down on you when all you're trying to do is the right thing. Has anybody experienced anything like that before? You, sir? It ain't that great, is it? You feel alone, you feel isolated. It doesn't matter how many people show up to a meeting and say, hoorah, go man, go. I'm still the only one standing up here. And I know you people are behind me, I know you're backing me, I love you for it, believe me, but the point being is, they stick you way out, and then it causes doubts in good people. And when you cause those doubts, the good people miss out on what's about to happen. And then they're not a part of history, because that's what we're about to make. So all I can tell you is this, regardless of all that, and I've said this before at a lot of meetings, and I'm going to repeat myself to some of you, but I've got 6 grandchildren, and I don't have the heart to get down on my knees one day and tell them I did fucking nothing. I can't do it. I can't. I don't care if they lock me behind bars, I don't care what the hell they do, but I'm never going to get on my knees and tell my grandchildren that I had an opportunity. I had a chance. Because of my voice, I had a chance, and I didn't take it. I chickened out at the last minute because a bunch of people are spreading bullshit. I'm not doing it. That's what gets me to the morning. Then when I get up, Clayton's smiling at me and we're all fine. That's Clayton. He's my security on this trip. All right? He insisted. I said, no, don't bother. He said, no, I'm coming with you. Because the last time I made a trip, they caught me in Jasper with 4 police cars. I mean, here I am driving my black truck with my cowboy hat and everything. I go by and they're all, there, get him! There he is! Jesus. And then I got escorted out of town afterwards. Like they actually spend the fuel to escort me for 30 miles. This is, like, what am I? A national threat? Well, yeah. I am. So I got word that, I'm on some list now. And they're scared of me, but it did something. I've been communicating with the Indigenous people of Canada, and I mean the chiefs and all that. I'm getting so excited because they seem to love the underdog. And they're looking at me going, you know what? I think we're gonna back that guy. And holy shit, is that making the government freak out to the max? Now I'm working on the commitments now, and I'm speaking with them, and I've got I mean, there's so much going on, people, and I don't want to stand up here and throw false promises out, but I'll tell you right now, I feel so good about everything that's happening, and the crowds that are showing up, and the numbers that are showing up, and it's blowing my mind that we can actually take something from nothing and build it into the biggest movement Canada's ever seen. All right, this is one small town. I go to a whole whack of towns, and you've got 11 million friends across Canada. 11 million, okay? And the trucker convoy proved it. All you have to do is count the people standing on the highway, count the 2-3 million of people that showed up on the first couple of days. It's pretty easy to see how many of us there are, right? So, let's talk about the plan. All right. Now, I created something. Are you satisfied with those answers? Do you need any more? Ask me a question, anybody, if I missed something. My favorite crowd so far. Okay. What I did is I planned to do something that is extremely peaceful, non-violent. Keep that in your minds. Make sure you spread that. They're trying to spread something different, okay? They're trying to spread something different because I said, well, if we're attacked, it's a little bit different. We're going to defend ourselves. I mean, we're not stupid. We watched in Ottawa. I was in Ottawa. I was there on the last few days. I saw what they're willing to do. And I'll tell you something right now. I don't believe one police officer was actually even there. Those were the goon squad people. I don't know any police officers like the ones that were there. I don't know anybody like that in a uniform. I think they just got those guys uniforms and they just got thugs. Those were just thugs. They weren't acting like police officers at all. Now I happen to know the guys in the green outfits. Okay, that was Denmark and Finland. That's been confirmed. Denmark and Finland, they flew them in. Vancouver, British Columbia has an office that books mercenaries, and Trudeau just picks up the phone. That's how bad it's gotten. That's where we're at, right? Are you kidding me? Wait a minute, our guy that's supposed to be the leader of our country, Mr. Silly Socks, gets on the phone and he calls down to order mercenaries to come and crush Canadian citizens who are unarmed. Is that the point we're at? Okay? So let me ask you folks something. Let's revert back to something else, okay? Is the vaccine safe?
No.
We all agree?
Yeah.
Okay. Who said it was safe?
The government.
Government, health department, it's all the same, right? All right? Now that we know it's not safe, and we know who said it was safe, what are we going to do about it?
Don't take it.
Do not comply. Like hell.
Okay. Put him in jail. That's the one I like the best. Okay. How long is it going to take before we actually get off our ass and do it?
Sooner than later.
I see a lot of freedom people that say they're freedom people, freedom organizations. I haven't seen anybody do a damn thing. All right? Oh, they put their court papers in and shit like that. How many children are going to die in 3 years? Because that's how long it'll take. That's the point I try to make. How many people are we willing to lose? Every one of us, I bet you, is connected to someone that's either sick, got a permanent illness, or died. Put up your hand if you know someone from that vaccine. Jeez, people. That is ridiculous.
I don't have enough fingers.
You don't have enough fingers.
Yeah. For all the people I know that are injured by that.
Oh, yes, sir.
We're dead.
Or dead.
Yeah.
They murdered my brother as far as I'm concerned.
Jesus. So the question is, who are we? Like, who really are we? You know, I came out of Alberta there, and I gave a couple of speeches. And do you know that 4 of the men, good family men that are farmers, are in prison still from the Coutts border?
Yep.
Okay? So my question is this. 4 men joined Coutts, stand up for the rights of the Albertans and Canada. They get thrown in jail. They don't even have a good excuse to have them in there. You know the way they work, right? Mischief charge. You're in there for 3 years. What the fuck is that? Anyway, why hasn't Alberta gone to get them? See what I'm trying to say? They stood up for their fellow Albertans and Canadians. Have any one of us even gone to get them? We leave them there. That's our problem. That's our problem. I can't go there myself and get them. I sat down with Pastor Art. You all know who he is?
Yep.
He invited me to his house, all right? And I don't think he invites a lot of people to his house. And I went in there and sat and had coffee with him. I, after 2 seconds, realized I was staring at more than a man. Far more than a man. Nothing like anything I've ever met. All right? They threw him in solitary confinement. They had other inmates they tried to put in there to beat him up. All right? This man is the strongest person I've ever met to date, and I'm 60 years old. I've never met anybody like that. I had goosebumps sitting there talking to him. We talked for about an hour and a half. And he gave me more encouragement than I expected I was going to get when I got there. And he's trying to encourage he's not even allowed to talk to us. Okay? He's on house arrest or something. He can't even talk to us. They crush a man that was, do you know what he's guilty of? Do you guys know?
Feeding the homeless.
Yeah. Feeding the homeless. Okay. Did we all stand up to go save him? No. Now I realize daily life gets in the way, real life gets in the way, don't get me wrong. I mean, we've all got things to do. But the power of the people is a real fucking thing. It's real. If 5,000, 6,000 of us go and we stand there and we say, you got 5 minutes to get him out of there, believe me, he's coming out. If 100,000 go, he's coming out. If 1 million people show up to save that man's life because he tried to save all ours, he's coming out.
What's he charged with?
Who the hell knows? A bad sandwich. I have no idea. I think they just, mostly it's mischief and it's some kind of, if they don't have a law to charge you with, they'll make one. Right? Have you heard that? They'll just make shit up.
Anything to shut them up.
Anything to shut him up. What they would, and they'll shut me up eventually, I know it. And you know why? Because people are starting to gather. People are starting to think. They have to shut people like me up. They have to. They can't allow it. They can't allow you to have hope. They can't allow you to have faith in something. They have to crush your faith. They have to get rid of your hope. And that's what they're trying to do right now. They're just trying to hit me to hit you. Because they don't know who you are. But they know I talk to you. Take me out of the equation, someone else has to stand up. And I'm damn sure somebody would. I'm damn sure somebody would just jump into my boots, no problem. But the thing is that each time they do that, you get discouraged just that little bit. Every time someone stands up for us, they take them out. And that's what happened with Pastor Hart. Every time he stood up for everybody, they'd grab him and take him. Every time he stood up, they'd grab him and take him. To the point where he couldn't stand anymore. He did his best. He did more than anybody I know. But after a while, I can't even imagine locked in solitary confinement. If I have to talk to myself for 3 months, I'm fucked. I'm done. I don't know how he did it. He had God on his side. He was able to get through that. I don't know how. And you know what happened when they stuck him in with a bunch of crazy inmates to beat him up? They all fell in love with him. They all listened to him. Because he's a good-hearted man. So they didn't want to touch him. At least that's a story. I don't know. Can't confirm stories. That's just what I'm told. So all I can tell you folks is, I'm going to lighten up the conversation here pretty soon, because you know me, I love to make you laugh, actually. Because it shouldn't all be doom and gloom, all right? But I got to tell you something. We have to learn to start standing up. Don't be afraid. Don't let fear be their weapon that works on you. Don't let it happen, okay? It's okay to be scared, but it should never stop you.
That's right.
Just stand up. It's not that hard. And they're not that scary. They're really not. When the police all had me pulled over and they're all surrounding my truck and everything else, what did I do? I did a typical Canadian thing. I had some crackers sitting there, so I pulled out a cracker and started eating it. I was looking at everybody. And they're like, this guy's nuts. I'm not going to fall to their fear. That's just a uniform. You're just a man and woman in there. And I know you're actually good people, to tell you the truth. I know they're good people. They're just doing what they're told. But isn't that part of the problem right now with our police force? They're actually just doing what they're told. Okay, so you know what we're going to do? We're going to hold court. That's what we're going to do. I've teamed up with Christopher James, who I love like a brother right now. He's getting his share of flack, and he's getting his butt kicked too, but he won't quit. I won't quit. And our team is going to be supporting him, and he's going to ask them some questions in court if they let us in. All right? We are going to walk right in there with a couple of deputies and sheriffs with him, just a couple, and guaranteed that they're going to turn away from answering the questions, because you know what? The funny thing about Canada is they don't own you. They don't own you. Why are they telling you what to do? I mean, did you sign a contract with anybody? No? Nobody? You didn't sign a contract saying that you do everything that the government says? Oh. Does any man or woman have a contract with you over your free will? Any man or woman? Most of you? No? Your wife, sir? What? Yeah, you see, I knew that. So we just have one bad example in the front row. And that's the point we're trying to make. Your lives are being destroyed, and they don't have the authority to do it. It's that simple. It's called contractual law. All right? Christopher is teaching me so much. The man is intelligent. He's a fighter. And we're going to prove that you should not have to live this way if you decide not to. If you decide. Critical mass is something we're going around. The only reason I tour around is to get critical mass. Okay? Hundreds of thousands of rooms like this filled with people like you is critical mass. And once critical mass is willing to stand up, this is all over and finished. Done. It's called the law of the land. When the majority of the people of a country agree to one thing, that's the law. Did you know that? They can't get away from that. They have to follow it. They have no choice. Years and years and years and years ago, my stepfather, Harry, was an amazing man. That was my mom's third. And he's the guy that I really consider my father. He taught me, he did this to me, like I was kind of a normal boy and then I turned into a cowboy. But he said to me a long time ago, he said to me, this country could always be whatever it could be as long as the people decide to make it so. And we've never decided to make it that way. Think about that. We're all running around right now worrying about the future of our children, of our grandchildren. But are we changing it?
Well, yeah, we're trying.
Huh? Think about that. Are we actually changing it, or are we listening to a whole bunch of speakers like me, well, not like me, because I actually have a plan, that don't have a plan, but they just get you in a room and tell you what's wrong? Hell, I can stay here for 3 days and tell you what's wrong. But how about I tell you what we're going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So here's what we're going to do. With critical mass, we're going to march our way in there. We're not going to be forceful in any way, shape, or form. And what we're going to do is, dressed as sheriffs and deputies, because we've formed the association already, we just need the sanctioning. The Indigenous people have already agreed to sanction us, which is a start. But now what we need is, we need you, the Canadian people. We need you to sign on the dotted line saying that you recognize the constitutional sheriffs as your peace officer force to protect your rights. We get 11 million people doing that. Guess what? You now have your rights protected by an actual peace officer force. Imagine what that's going to be like. We're the buffer zone. The government doesn't pay us. All right? We raise our own funds, and we are an independent force that's only here to protect you. That deserves a round of applause, by the way. It's okay, I'll coach you as we go along. All right? All right, I'll coach you. So that's a real thing. That's not a dream. It's real. It just takes people, and that's where it comes in. Power of the people. It's real. Now we got speakers out there that say, well, just say no. Just say no. Okay, so you're not going to get enough of the population just standing around just saying no. And then what's going to happen is the people that just say no, you're going to get put on a train car and you're going to a camp. All right, that's where just say no gets you. You support a peace officer force across Canada, in every province, you don't have to worry about that train car no more. Because now you've got individuals that will stand for you and not let it happen. And if we don't create that, we're done. We're finished. Every high-end lawyer and everything I've talked to, people I've approached, say that that is the only thing that's going to save our ass. That's it. If you don't create your own protection, I don't like to call it an army, constitutional sheriffs, or your protection. And if the case comes, just like in the Old West, where we are outnumbered as the constitutional sheriffs, well, guess what? We just deputize whoever the hell we want. Because we have that power. So you tell me right now, if they start marching on us and they start forcing us into all sorts of shit, and I put the call out because I need volunteer deputies, just like a posse. I need deputies because we need to stand our ground. How many of you people are coming out? That is the power of the people. That's why they're afraid.
Are you going to be able to go with force against force?
You know what? I'll tell you what happens when you have critical mass. There is no force against force because you're bigger than them. I want you to consider the fact that across Canada, there are 58,000 police officers. Okay? Military, we have 8,000, 8,500 still here, and the other ones are out there somewhere. And even if the other ones come back, the maximum they have is 12,000 trigger pullers, they call it. Trigger pullers. All right? We could have 11 million Canadians deputized saying no.
Or are you going to have trigger pullers?
We don't need trigger pullers.
Yeah, we do.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
You know, you start a war, we'll lose.
They're starting.
No. If they start it and you return fire, we've lost Canada.
Yep.
So yeah, I understand the anger. Believe me, when they put out the list of illegal weapons, I got all of them. So most of them are just garden rakes, which I got shit for saying. Make sure you edit the video. Okay. But I'm telling you right now, I would like nothing more than to take my anger and throw it at them that way. So I'm just like you. I'm no different. But I do understand. I understand that when we go against them that way, we've broken laws internationally. That's going to bring the UN straight in here, and we will lose the country.
They brought them in and we didn't break the law.
Hang on a second. Those were mercenaries. Everybody says it's UN. I'm telling you right now, mercenaries are not UN.
Videoed in Trenton, Ontario.
Who's talking? Where are you? Stand up so we can see you. I can't see you.
Standing up along the wall.
Oh, you're standing along the wall.
That's exactly what happened.
Come on up so I can just see your face because I can't see you. Is that okay?
You don't have to see my face.
Oh, okay. I don't have to see your face. So what are you saying, sir?
I'm saying they have already brought in the UN in Ontario in December. And look what they did to the people there that protested peacefully.
I was there. Are you talking about Ottawa?
Well, what do you think I'm talking about?
Boy, you're an angry man, aren't you?
Goddamn right I'm angry.
Okay, what do you want to do about it?
We gotta put a stop to this bullshit.
I agree with you there. What would you like to do about it, sir?
I don't know yet. That's why I'm here. We're trying to figure this shit out.
Okay, fair enough. But you've got to have an idea in order for everybody to move forward because we got a crowd of people here that need an answer.
That's right.
Well, I'm giving you one that I think would work. You don't have to agree with it, of course, but I'm just telling you, if we pull guns out, we're done. We're finished. We can't possibly go up against, if you pull a gun out, you're going against your own military now. All right? Martial law will come in, which is actually what Mr. Silly Socks wants. We all know that. He wants us to pick up a weapon and stand in the middle of the street so he can send in everything. Okay? Now, please, I'm not saying I'm not the guy that wants it. I'm just the same as that fellow right there. I don't disagree with the man. But if I'm looking at my grandchildren and I'm thinking, how do I do this so they actually still have a world? Then I've got to try and think of something else. Because we'll lose. And the reason we'll lose, there's only so many of us that have that kind of courage. Okay, and I'm sure you folks do, and I'm positive that gentleman over there does. He has that kind of courage. I'd stand with that guy. I've got it. I'll stand in the middle of the street and do what I got to do. But will we win? No. We can't possibly win. Because not enough, look at, if everybody would have said no to all this COVID bullshit, it wouldn't be here, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so now you'd have to try and get everybody to stand up and defend with you, and you know damn well they won't. So if we have 30% of the Canadians willing to actually fight, we still would lose, because it would take at least 75% that physically are going to fight. And I wish it was different, believe me, I totally wish it was different. The Sheriff's Department is the best thing I could think of to do it lawfully and to protect the citizens and to be able to move forward without them being able to stop it. Because if we have the backing of the majority of Canadians, plus the Indigenous people is so important, if we have all that, we've got real law. And we're playing their game and we're beating them at it. I'll have questions after, sir. I'll just get through this first. Okay? That is the only answer I can think of, but my group is very large. We're very big. We're all over Canada right now, and we're getting ready. We're getting ready to be sanctioned, and we're getting ready to stand up for every Canadian. That's all we think we can do at the moment. Christopher James is getting ready to prove his point that they have no jurisdiction over us. They don't have the right to do what they're doing. And we're going to make it loud and make it known. And what we're going to do is when we line up those sheriffs and deputies at that courthouse outside, we're not trying to seize the inside. We're going to hold the outside so that they can't go in and drag him out. That's the plan. We're not trying to do anything forceful or anything violent. But, and sir, I hope you can hear this back there, because we need that kind of bravery right there to stand with us, because we're not going to move. We have all pledged. We have slowly been bringing people in, and when we're sanctioned, they all get sworn in. When they get sworn in, their pledge is they will stand for the Canadian people and not move. All right? And that's what it takes. And we know that's what it takes because of Ottawa. Nobody, again, is going to stand and get hit with a stick without stopping them from doing it. No. No, that's not who we are. We're not whipped dogs, okay? We're the Canadian people. We built this land, we built this country, and we're going to hold on to it. So we will get ourselves in a defensive mode, but you damn rights we're going to defend ourselves. So they better understand that right off the start. Now, I'm not being violent. I'm not being aggressive. We're not even being proactive. We're being reactive. Reactive is a defensive position. Now, we're going to hold that ground, and we're going to make a point, and the world will be watching because we've arranged for media. We've arranged for it. So we know it's going to be covered, and we know they're going to see it. And when you take all those sheriffs and deputies that are standing there in their uniforms, unarmed, which means we're not there to fight, we're not there to cause trouble, we're there to make a point, and we're there to stand up for our Canadian friends, family, children. And they're going to line up in front of us. Okay, hang on, they're going to line up in front of us just like they did in Ottawa. We're going to see the same kind of people, sir, I believe. Would you believe the same kind of people are lining up in front of us? Same people, okay? Police uniforms that I don't even think police were in them. But we're gonna see them. But there will be some local police there, because there was in Ottawa too. Those are the ones that didn't do anything and actually backed off and let the green goblins, I call them, come in. I'm gonna send a message to those people, to their commanding officer, and I'm gonna say, we have one chance. This is a standoff right now. The world. Why does it do that? I'm not touching it.
Your batteries.
See that? I wear batteries out. We're going to stand there and make our point, and I'm going to have a microphone on, and I got the speakers, if I'm there on that day, I hope. And I am going to say to their commanding officer, this one's here, right? I'm going to say to their commanding officer, you are here and you believe that you are protecting Canada and their families. Guess what? We're here protecting Canada and their families. You think you're here to make the streets safe. Guess what? I'm here to make the streets safe. You're here in a uniform because you believe that what you're doing will protect the futures of your children and all the children of the officers that are here. Well, guess what? I'm here, and I'm here to protect the children and their futures. It's going. Oh.
Good at that.
This is so cool. I throw my voice. I'm actually back there. And I'm going to say all this to him, and then I'm going to say, we got one chance. The world is watching. Take a look at the cameras. The world is watching. One chance for peace and to make this work so that this country can pull itself back together and tell Klaus Schwab to get his shit out of here. We got one chance, and here it is. I'm going to turn around, and I'm going to have all my deputies go down on one knee. They're going to go down to show that they are not there to fight. Okay? Understand? They're going to be down on one knee. They're not there to fight. I'm going to turn to that guy. This is what you're all going to see on camera. I'm going to reach out my hand and I'm going to say, You ask your troops to go do the same thing, shake my hand, and imagine for a moment what the world's going to see if they go down on one knee. It'll change the world, and it'll be Canada that does it.
Yep.
All right? That is the best way to attack this thing right now at this moment in time. Now, I'm not saying that later on, if they don't go down on a knee and they decide to attack us and we have to defend ourselves, it's going to be a hell of a mess. A hell of a mess. And the world will see who started it. It's those assholes, not us. We're going to be flying 2 white flags, which means parley. We're not showing the Canadian flag at all. Under the 2 white flags, they are supposed to, by universal law. And thank you, international law. They are not supposed to attack anyone flying 2 white flags because it means parley. It means we don't want to fight. If they attack us under those 2 white flags, by international law, our own military is committed to coming and defending us. They have to do it, or they are breaking international law, and the world will see that.
Trudeau's been breaking a lot of international laws then, hasn't he?
Yeah, yes, sir, he has. You're absolutely right.
So why doesn't somebody just stomp his ass?
Why are you still standing here?
Good question.
Why
What?
aren't you gone?
Yeah, well, everybody always asks these questions, but I don't see anybody going and doing it, so that's all I can say. I don't know. All right? No one's doing it. And I don't see a lot of people acting on anything. I don't see a lot of people standing up and really getting a group of people together and going for it. We've done that already. We've already done it. Our group is assembled. They're all getting vetted right now. Okay? So this is really going to happen. We can't stop it. We got too many people involved now. There's too many people doing this. So when we do this, the risk we're taking is we're going to get thumped. And the world will see it happen. All right? I personally believe that physically we can take it because the people that I've gathered, it's just impressing the hell out of me. And I'm talking about strength of heart and soul. I'm not talking about big people. I'm talking about the ones that they're not going to go down easy. And I sure hope that doesn't happen. But I don't see that we don't have the right for self-preservation. Because now we're being attacked. We're not attacking anybody, but we're being attacked. Okay? That is the only way I think we can get the attention of the world, get the help of our own military. And I'm going to tell you guys something. I, in particular, have the faith in the men and women in the uniforms. All right? I think even if they put the wrong people in front of us, that our own men and women that are Canadian, they're going to stop those guys. All right? I really do. The men and women in that uniform are not the ones that we should not like. We should hate the uniform for sure. Because they've allowed that uniform to have Canada's blood on it. And when they did that, we can no longer respect the RCMP uniform or any city police. OPP finished that one off too. We can't respect that uniform. But it doesn't mean we lose respect for your local people that are right here. They weren't in Ottawa. Your local RCMP, is it RCMP here?
Yes.
Your local RCMP, those people in those uniforms, respect them. You don't have to respect the uniform anymore. Their corporation killed it. But it doesn't mean the men and women are bad. And what I think is going to happen, I think that they probably will attack us. And I think what's going to happen is our police force is going to stop them. And I'm betting my life on it. Because I think they signed up to protect Canadians. I think they signed up for the well-being of our children. And I think that all they're doing is standing by, waiting to see what we do. And when we stand, they will. Any of you agree?
Yep.
If we're going to win this battle, the heroes are ending up going to be the very people we didn't think would come into it. It'll be our police force and our military that will save Canada. We're just giving them a reason to do it. You understand? We're not trying to be heroes. What we're trying to do is ignite inside of them who they really are. And I think it's going to happen. So I don't see the violence in this as far as they say that I'm promoting violence. With what? With what? Because we're dressed in a uniform? They said, well, that's going to look like military. What? We're going to be sanctioned sheriffs. Like, do our sheriffs that run around now, are they military? Do they look like they're out to kill people? No. We're just going to be sheriffs and deputies. That's all we're going to be. But it makes us lawful. Do you understand that? It makes us not terrorists. Nobody can look at us and go, oh, there's just a bunch of terrorists. Well, Chris Sky says we're going to be terrorists, by the way. We're going to be terrorists. Because he's having a little tantrum because we won't let him put a uniform on. So that's fine. You just go ahead and do whatever you got to do. I really don't give a shit about any of the bad stuff coming at me. I don't give a crap. Because I look at those guys and I say, Police on Guard and Veterans for Freedom and now Chris Sky. You know what? They can't stay in the limelight unless they do something, and the only thing they're able to do right now is pick on me. Otherwise, they got no reason to be on social media. Let me tell, how about this? What has Police on Guard done before you saw them attacking me?
Nothing.
Yeah, thank you. Veterans for Freedom, what big thing have they done before they started attacking me?
Nothing. Who are they?
Chris Sky, has he solved any of our issues? Has he helped us in any way other than tell us to not obey, which is fine, but has he come up with a solution to end this madness once and for all?
No.
Right. But he sold a lot of t-shirts. A lot of them. Let's look at what needs to be done. What needs to be done is the unification of all of us. We all need to unite, every one of us. Every one of us is needed right now, because if we don't join together, all of us are going to be on our knees telling our children and grandchildren, sorry. And that's going to be a really, really hard pill to swallow, people. That'll be a tough one. I don't think we can let it happen, do you?
Nope.
All right, so what you got to do is dig deep inside. You got to find out what's in there. Find out what you're willing to do. Figure out how you can stop this. Come with me. Do not follow me, please. Stand beside me. I'm not in this to be the guy in front. I'm in this to encourage you to join all the other people in Canada. And let's say, is there any kids in here? Fuck that shit. That's enough. That's enough. Okay? And I'm going to give you a quick example, and then we'll go into a question period. So a quick example is this. And I say this, and you might have heard this already, and if you have, I'm sorry, but you know, it's kind of a nice story, so you might not mind hearing it again, or just, you know, go to the bathroom. Hey, how you doing there, dude? Whose kid is this?
Mine.
This is your kid? Hello. We're here because of him.
That's right. That's right. That's the reason I started. That's right.
Doesn't matter if you have kids or not, if you have grandchildren or not, you sure know a kid. You know a kid on your block, you know somebody. And I'm telling you right now, we need to give them a life, because we had the chance to have one. All right? And where they made their biggest mistake, these assholes that are in there right now, and all these foreign jackasses that think they can come in and take our Canada, here's the mistake they made. They should have waited 15 to 20 years, but they left all the gray hairs here. Big mistake. Big mistake. I would rather die next Thursday than in 20 years in a bed. Which pretty much tells you how much time I got left. All right? I'm not going to wither away that my life meant nothing when the world just offered me an opportunity and you an opportunity to be a part of history and stand and make something happen. Has anybody been to the Louvre in Paris? Okay, I haven't. I'm just showing you how to raise your hand. There used to be a painting there. It is sold now. It's gone. But there was a painting hanging on the wall. And there's the devil in the painting. There's a man in the painting. And there's a chessboard. The devil is laughing his ass off. All right? The man is sitting there with his hands over his face, not looking at the board anymore. Not looking at anything. And what it says on the bottom of the painting, it says checkmate. So a tour group comes in to look at the painting, and they're staring at the painting, and then the whole tour group just goes off, but one guy doesn't leave, and he keeps just like, what the hell is... And the tour guide comes back and goes, sir, is there something wrong? And he says, yeah, you bet, buddy. I'm looking at this painting, and I'm thinking, you either got to change the painting or change the name. And the tour guide goes, what do you mean, sir? Well, did I tell you I'm a world champion chess player? And you got a problem with your painting. He says, what do you mean? He says, well, I see the devil's laughing. And I'm looking at the chessboard, and I'm looking at the man. Now the man has got his hands over his face. He can't see the board. He's not looking. He naturally assumes it's over. But it's not over. Did I mention that I'm a champion chess player? What I see right there is the devil laughing, thinking he's won. The man thinks he's lost with his hands in his face. And I'm looking at that board, and I'm going to tell you right now, here's what I know. The king has one more move. Now, what I'd like you to do, ladies and gentlemen, and we've been guilty of this for years, get your face out of your hands, look up, let's look at that game board, and let's go kick some ass. Thank you.